Bino. Welcome back to my channel. I'm an arborist and a tree climber specialist, and what I like to do on my channel is share tree climber tips with beginners and experts. What we're going to do today is use this noose knot. It's a good way to throw into a tree. Not too long ago we did a loose coil to throw in a tree. Some guys really like to have a weighted line when they throw in a tree so they can maneuver it in the way they want. Alright, let's get to it. To tie the noose knot, the way I like to do it is I get a length of rope, and then I get another length of rope that's about the length of my arm, and then what I'll do is I'll make 2 bites. Now I'll get the 2 bites and hold them in this way. I'm going to use the short end and I'll wrap it around both of the bites. So here I go. Now you want them snug. I guess you don't want them too snug because you've got to still be able to pull it, and I'll show you in a minute how to do that. So you use your whole tail that you had on the ground, or the short end, wind it all the way up, and now you get to the other bite here and you tuck the tail into that bite. And once you tuck the tail into the bite, now you're going to get the other end, or the loop on the bottom, the bite on the bottom, and you're going to pull it. Let's see. Oops, that came undone. Tuck that back in. And now I'm going to get this bite here and I'll start pulling it. Now what that does is it holds that tail. Okay. Alright, now that's going to make it tight when you're holding that tail. And it makes it like a solid ball. Now you don't want a big bite over here, so then you start to pull it, and you don't really want it too small. This might even be good, so if you have like or maybe you leave it the length for like a pull saw or a pruner, that maybe you can hook it if you need to go over a branch. Once I got this set up, it's tight and it's about the weight that I want. Now I'm going to hold this in one hand, and then I'm going to get some coil. So if I throw a ball by itself, or this noose by itself, what will happen is when it goes up, the weight of the rope will stop it in mid-air and drop it. So what I need to do is to get some coils. So like these are about 5-foot coils, so I'm going to get like 4 or 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and here's the 5th. I'm going to throw into about a 30-foot throw with this rope and the noose. Once again, this is how you tie the noose. So I like to get a length. I got 2 arm lengths for me. So here's one a little bit longer than arm lengths because it across my chest, and then another length. And now I'll get a bite, and then I'll grab it and make another bite. Now once I do that, I'm going to get the tail end, and I'll start wrapping around the bite that's on this side, and there I go. Just basically wrap it all the way down till I get to the end. I'm not making this real tight. You kind of want to have it looking good. You don't want it to be all askewed. And then like the weight, you got to choose the weight you want. So you do it a few times and you figure out what weight you like. You know, more wraps and it'll, you know, heavier weight. Let's see. So you'll pull this bite here and it'll cause this bite to get tighter. See here, there we go. See how it's collapsing into that rope? So I'm gonna make it snug here, make it tight. The more you pull it, the tighter it gets. Manipulate it to make it a little bit, you know, you don't want it to be all skewed. Okay, make it tight. Now when you get to this point, you don't want it super big. You want to bring it down because you don't want it to catch other branches. So you pull this end of the rope and make it a little bit smaller. Some people might not even want this. They can make it a little bit smaller. If you make it too small, the coils could come undone, so you really don't want to do that. But what's good about having this is you could, after you throw it over a limb, with a couple extensions, you can use a pole pruner to pull it down. So that's pretty much how you do it. Now that I have everything set up, I got my noose knot in the hand that I'm going to throw and my coils for the extra added length. I'm going to look at my spot where I'm going to throw. It's a 30-foot, looks pretty wide open. Now what I'll do is I might get a little bit of length. I can use the noose knot and a length of this to have a little bit of weight, so I might be able to throw a little higher. I'll aim to my spot and then I'll throw. Right over the crotch I wanted. And now once I got that crotch, what I'm gonna do is with the rope, I'm gonna whip it. And whipping the rope, you can bring your noose knot down, and then you can bring it over the limb. There we go. Now it's getting closer. And then if you made a little bit of a bigger loop, you could use a pole equipment to grab it at that height right there. There it goes. Now, once you get it to the ground, then you could get ready to set up your line. Now, the way you can unravel the noose knot, all you have to do is grab from the top, and then you pull this line all the way through, and then it unravels. So sometimes, if it's not too many coils and it gets stuck in a branch, there's a possibility that you can undo it and unravel it. But if it's a tight crotch, there's a chance you can really get stuck. Anyhow, there you go. With the noose knot, some people have a hard time tying it. And also with a noose knot, if you're throwing pretty high, then the weight of the rope can cause it not to be able to flip down as easy. So you know, it's more for just a medium height. If you want to have something, same kind of a situation where it's a coil that's locked and it doesn't come undone, there's another option, and actually it's heavier. The thing is, it's heavier, so you really can't throw as high as you would with the noose, because it's kind of like a bullet. So in order to do another way, all you do is get your coils, just like you would if you were doing a loose knot, a loose coil. Then, like I said, you get your weight in. So the coils, for me, if you don't want a real long coil, if you're going to go through say a short or a tight crotch area, you get what you think you're going to need in weight, and then you wrap downward, just like you were doing the regular loose coil, right? Some guys are real good at getting this really tighty looking. They get this all wrapped most of the way, and then what you can do is you bring this bottom piece of rope, you throw it to the top of the coil, and now with this bite you just throw it over, and then you snug this up. Right now you have a coil that's bound up, and it's going to hang. So what you can do, I'm just going to throw it over the lower branch here. You just throw it over, and it's a lot more weight if you like if doing it in this way, and then you get it to the ground. To unravel this one, the solid coil, all you have to do is grab that bite, lift it, and then you just feed it through and just uncoil it. You want to make sure you don't just throw it, because sometimes you can get knotted, but uncoil it and you're free to get ready to work. So there you have it. You have a couple of different ways to enter a tree if you don't feel like using a shot bag, and you really, you know, if you got a bunch of trees that you got to work on, having a noose knot or that other coil that is captured so you can use it as a weight, those are some real good ways to get in a tree. You can go from tree to tree. You don't have to pull out extra bag. Just have your rope weighted, and there you go, entering tree pretty quickly. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment, like, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you like what we do, and by all means, share our videos. Take care. We'll see you